Welcome to Suing the Internet Part 3. The defendants, as of yesterday, have officially been served. In my pro se case, I dropped the papers off with the county, gave them the complaint, gave them the addresses of the defendants, and then the county actually proceeded with mailing out all of the summons. They put a little green card onto each piece of mail. The defendants get a copy of the complaint, any exhibits, and then this was mailed out. I think I filed on the 13th. It got issued, mailed out on the 14th, and then actually delivered to the defendants. They picked it up on the 20th. So one of the big problems was who's even responsible in this lawsuit? Who are the defendants? Some people showed up in my yard, said, "We're Surf Internet." In emailing with them back and forth, a few different people in the company, I ended up with Surf's general counsel and very specifically asking them, who do I, like, if we can't solve it between the two of us, what's your address? Who's in charge? Like, what's the company entity? Like, who should be receiving legal correspondence? Is that you? I don't know. Who does it go to? And that question was never answered. A lot of other questions weren't answered. Hence, the suit has been filed. So when you don't know who the suit is for, you can go, if they're doing business in Indiana, you can go to the Indiana the public business search online, fill out this form. First thing you can fill out is Surf Internet. That'll take you and pull up 4 different entities. This is where it gets confusing, because we've got Surf Internet, but we have multiple businesses. We have assumed business names. The type of the entity is a foreign limited liability company. There's foreign legal names. There's assumed business names of the foreign legal names. And how do we know this? You might stop here. You might see this and think, oh yeah, here we go. But if you're looking for someone, do a little step further. So we have the principal office address right here, and for all 4 of these, these 3 different business IDs that we have here, each business ID is, it's a different business, right? They all have the same address, and they all have the same registered agent. So what we can do from here is we can try to understand who else shares this principal office address and who else shares this registered agent. So if we go back and we put this address in, we get a few more businesses that come up for us. Registered agent, all of them are CT corporations, except for one, that is Gene Cruz, and then W Telecom, and I'm not a corporate strategist. I don't know if this is good what the company is doing or bad, but when things get expensive, you're hiring an attorney most of the time to represent. Somebody gets paid to untangle all of this mess, right? If you can do this as a pro se litigant, this is going to save you a few hours off your bill, at least. So coming through all of these, we'll pick one of the legal names. NMW Telecom. You click through, find a little bit more about the company. You can go through the filing history, name history, assumed name history. And it's a lot of the initial information, if they're an Indiana company, is going to be found right here. So who am I actually, who's this complaint actually against? Well, it's against all of the SURF-related defendants who share the common offices, management, branding, blah, blah, blah. Let the court know that I requested that SURF identify the correct entity. SURF did not provide a clear response. Therefore, suing all related entities jointly. I'm sure that'll be the first thing that gets settled out, is who's actually, who actually has a beneficial interest in the infrastructure they installed. Out of the 6 defendants, 5 of them are in Indiana. One of them is out of Delaware. The Delaware one, it's not clear if, I think it's the ABS issuer. It's not clear if that company is involved or not. We'll find out if they securitized the fiber assets that are actually on my property or not, and that'll give us some insights there. We have Surf Internet as the operator who's actually operating that ISP. We have the actual network asset, and who is holding those assets, and then we have the issuer, the entity that is holding the notes that are sold to those investors. This one will be interesting to figure out. High Speed Connect Indiana LLC files assumed names that are also the names of co-defendants. When all the companies are using the same name or similar names, it really blurs the lines of understanding what makes one of these companies different than the other, because it's not clear by the name. Here's a fun one. First entry was on August 6th. Second, and of course they got an email from me. We were talking about why that wasn't okay. While we're talking about that, we had the second entry on September 10th, continuing to talk with their general counsel. They're like, oh, well, can we have some more time to look at this? Can we have some more time? Can we have some more time? What were they doing with all of this time? They were forming other entities. So now, of course, we have to include the other entities, because ABS, if you know what that means, it's like, okay, well, are you transferring, did you install infrastructure onto private property without the property owner's permission? And then did you securitize that asset you just installed so that new entity could be sue-proof? Did that happen? We're going to find out. So that's the reason. It's the reason to be including Surf ABS Issuer LLC. If they hold any form of benefit from the asset that was installed, if a judgment against an operator that no longer owns the fiber is worth very little. I'll be interested to see if this part comes up. I've never done this before. Essentially, the claim I'm going to make is, or that I did make, is I'm not mad at Bob or Sue or Jezzanine. My issue is with Surf. any contractor or employee who is doing their jobs in accordance with what the corporation asked them to do, they're acting on behalf of the company, right? There's some cases where so the two big concerns are going to be, are they going to try to say that they told the contractors not to do it, and then contractors did it anyways, and so it's not their fault because contractors. The other thing they might try to do is say, that's the point of this section, is we're defining who the defendants are, why we believe it's them, and then we are in Lake County, Indiana. Why does the case belong in Lake County? It's where the damage took place. Lies in the county where the land is when the case concerns injury to possession of, title to, or interests in the real property. So what's next on the docket? They were served, or they have received service on the 20th. That's day 0. They get 21 days to respond or appear. We pull open. So on the 10th or 11th, we have a deadline. That clock is ticking. If you want to find out what happens, follow along. If you have any other questions about the case, I'll try to keep going through the different sections that I have. So there's a lot more in this complaint. We've got 39 pages. We've got over 200 paragraphs of complaint. If you have any questions, anything else you want me to cover in particular, otherwise, we'll just have some updates as we go through. So until then, thanks for watching, and have a good day.